I want very much to find out a bit about these additional threats that face India. The Prime Minister spoke about them in Barmer on the 30th of August. But first, on Thursday, Pakistan has filed 2 FIRs under the Anti-Terrorist Act against Hafiz Saeed, but they're not in any way connected with the accusations that he faces for the Mumbai terror attack of 2008. Do you see that as a first positive step? Or from India's point of view, is it irrelevant?
I think the latest one doesn't really add to any to our credibility, in my opinion.
It does nothing to add to Pakistan's credibility at all.
At least as far as the Mumbai terrorists.
So the question marks remain as strong.
Yeah.
Let's then come to these other additional terrorist threats that you've talked about. In fact, the Prime Minister on the 30th of August spoke about forces working to destabilize India-Pakistan relations. He said, I could say a lot more. What was he referring to?
He was referring to the threats that we... What is the sort of purport of these threats? Primarily, that the intelligence that we have is they wish to strike at targets which is bound to create widespread mayhem. I mean, there is no other particular significance of some of the targets that are being targeted. Sometimes it's a religious place. Sometimes it is a building which houses a large, or an institution that houses a large number of people of different kinds, etc., and several others. But the basic point is, if you take the totality of what is taking place is create as much destruction for the sake of destruction. I think they've reached the terrorism there has reached a notch which we've generally been talking of in academic terms, but here it's now coming down into practical issues. And our concern is that if you really have a problem of this kind, and even in Mumbai, for instance, you could very well have had a situation where, because the attack came from Pakistan, because people would see it as some Muslims were responsible, that it could have. But the greatness of the Indian people is that they do not accept this. Neither the Hindus nor the Muslims or other communities which are affected chose to deal with this in this manner. So that is a concern. We are worried that something might sometimes trigger off of a reaction which we are not.
How seriously scared are you that there could be a second major Bombay-like strike on India?
Now, here you're asking me a question that I live in almost daily dread that something that I'm looking at, or the Home Minister, because we attend a daily meeting, the Home Minister takes a daily meeting at which I am present. If he's not there, I take that meeting. We get so many pieces of intelligence which pass across our table. Many can be sort of weeded out, but as I said, there are quite a few which, if we are not able to nip it in bud, and if it escapes us, could have. Well, it's difficult to say whether we will have another Mumbai, because I think we are better prepared perhaps for that kind of a situation. But it could be quite serious. So
but you live with this dread every single day.
I would say that this is something that not merely I think all the members of the security architecture or security force live on, who are privy to this information.
President Obama was once quoted as saying that Pakistan scares him. Does Pakistan scare you?
Yeah, Pakistan may not scare me, but some of Pakistan's actions scare us, because I don't think this really adds to anything except in creating problems for us.
Therefore, given these circumstances and given the perpetual fear that we could be the victim of another terrible strike, what point or purpose is served by the 2 foreign secretaries or the 2 foreign ministers meeting at the UN? Or is that meeting now less than likely?
No. The dialogue mechanism, in that restricted dialogue mechanism, if I might say so, will continue. We are hoping that as a civilized nation with a civilian leadership, not very much in control, but hopefully anxious to do something, somewhere, sometime, the forces that are arranged against us operating from Pakistan can be brought to.
How realistic is that hope?
I've always been seen as a hawk, so I don't want to comment on that, but I live in hope anyway.
And so the foreign secretaries and the foreign ministers will meet in the hope that maybe they can get Pakistan to concentrate.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Mr. Ryan, let's end this particular first interview there. Tomorrow in the second part, I want to talk to you about doubts that have been created about India's nuclear deterrent and ask you how you respond to those concerns. That's tomorrow night on CNBC TV 18 at 10:30 p.m. But for tonight, bye, good night.